Good morning and welcome to 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcasts, a daily financial news capsule to get you clued in for the day. It's Tuesday, the 24th of September, and I am your host, Bhaskar Datta. We start today with news of a major escalation in the ongoing war in the Middle East. Lebanese authorities said on Monday that 492 people had died and tens of thousands had been displaced in the country's deadliest day in decades, after Israel's army launched airstrikes against Hezbollah sites in the country, Reuters reported. Israel warned people in Lebanon to evacuate areas where it said the armed movement was storing weapons. Meanwhile, amid concerns of a much larger regional conflict, Iran's president said that Israel wished to drag the Middle East into an all-out war by pushing Iran to join the conflict, with the leader warning of irreversible consequences if that were to happen. Remember how the US Federal Reserve's rate cut last week sparked a market rally around the globe? Well, there's likely to be more on that front. Speaking at various events on Monday, a few Fed officials pointed towards the likelihood of more interest rate cuts in the world's largest economy, especially as the current rates are still considerably higher than they have been for more than a decade. Officials, including Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee, Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostich, and Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari, all spoke about the need to further cut rates by the end of the year in order to ward off potential weakness in the US labor market. As we were saying, whatever the Fed's been doing has been rocking markets around the world, and India's no different. Indian equity indices closed at all-time highs on Monday for the second straight trading day because of the bullish momentum globally after the Fed's rate cut, and hopes of the Reserve Bank of India also cutting rates in coming months. Shares in rate-sensitive sectors such as banks, real estate and auto led the upsides, with technical analysts expecting the Nifty to move in the range of 26,200 to 26,400 soon. As in everything, it's important to look beyond the present and the headline-grabbing numbers. Amid a boom in retail participation in stocks, here's some sobering news that India's capital markets regulator has put out. According to a media report, Sebi data showed that individual traders in the futures and options market suffered a staggering Rs 1.8 lakh crore in aggregate losses over the past 3 fiscal years. Nearly 9 out of 10 traders incurred average losses of Rs 2 lakh each. Only 1% of individual traders managed to earn profits exceeding Rs 1 lakh after adjusting for transaction costs. For those who have been tracking the financial saga of Vodafone over the years, here are the latest developments for the cash-strapped telco. Vodafone Idea has said it's now up to the government to come up with a mechanism to offer financial relief to the company. This is after the Supreme Court recently rejected the company's petition seeking a recomputation of its adjusted gross revenue or AGR dues. While Vodafone had estimated its AGR dues at Rs 21,533 crore, the Department of Telecommunications had pegged the same at a whopping Rs 58,254 crore. The telecom giant said it would be unfair to force the telco to pay for something that was a calculation error. Meanwhile, Telecom Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has said that the Apex Court's order has to be followed. If there's one issue that always assumes more importance than others, it's how India is doing on the employment score. Well, here are some official numbers. India's overall unemployment rate for 2023-24 remained unchanged year-on-year at 3.2%, even as it rose slightly in rural areas and shrank in urban areas. This was according to the periodic labor force survey released on Monday. At the same time, India also set a new record in net formal job creation in a month by adding 1.99 million workers under the Employees Provident Fund organization in July this year. Here's something that'll go down well for all the snackers listening to us this morning. ET has learned that Central Potato Research Institute has proposed to set up a pilot plant to test its technology to convert potato waste and peels into ethanol. The proposed pilot plants are expected to be set up in regions with high potato production such as UP or West Bengal, and the processing areas such as Gujarat. Remember, India is the world's second largest producer of potatoes after China. Since the quantity of discarded potatoes in the country is high, at 10 to 15% of the total production, which totals 56 million tons, this is being seen as potential feedstock for ethanol after sugarcane and maize. That's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning into 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcast.